So, aside from the start of the school year, I would argue that the holidays are the biggest time of year for stress and inflammation. It only makes sense, right? Budgeting, planning, finishing the year out strong, school activities, shopping, setting goals for the new year, and then spending time with family that you may or may not get along with. It's a lot. So, today I'm giving you 8 proven ways to manage inflammation and stress during the holidays. Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to TrueWell, my name is Laura. I'm a nutrition specialist and certified health coach with a Master of Science in Nutrition. And I post weekly videos here on YouTube talking all things anti-inflammatory diet for blood sugar balance, weight loss, sleep, reduction in inflammation, and more. Now, I really used to think that I loved the holidays. My husband would constantly talk about how much he loved the holidays. The kids constantly talked about how amazing the holidays were. But each passing year, I'd find that I was not only more and more exhausted and irritated, but that my health issues were mounting as well. I had more blood sugar roller coasters, more emotional ups and downs, worse allergy issues, worse skin issues, and just severe exhaustion. And all of this cycled back to being more irritable and depressed than ever. And I finally realized that a lot of it was because I was the sole person doing literally all the work. I wanted my family, to have an amazing holiday, but I never got to actually enjoy it. So that overwhelm of doing everything and worrying about everything and being so incessantly stressed would lead to me stuffing myself with sugar and refined carbs and a lot of processed convenient foods just to have the energy to keep going. And this perfect storm was creating massive amounts of inflammation in my body. And if you have gotten to the point, maybe you're there now where you feel like this about the holidays, hit that like button and let me know. So one year I just finally snapped. It was too much. So after some long heart-to-heart discussions and basically like laying down some new expectations, also known as creating boundaries for myself, which I've always sucked at, things are very different during the holidays in our home now. Not only did I commit myself to, fueling myself properly the whole year, especially during the holidays, I knew that taking control in a different way would help me actually tame the chaos as well. Now, you may be wondering why the heck the name of this video is talking about stress and inflammation. And here's the bottom line. There is a huge connection between stress and inflammation. So, many people go into an anti-inflammatory diet and lifestyle not really understanding that even though nutrition and what you eat are extremely important, there are 3 other core pillars of health that also greatly affect inflammation. And one of those is stress. Stress kicks on our cortisol switch, which under normal circumstances would be an expected physiological reaction. But chronic stress levels create a situation in the body where there's a reduced sensitivity to cortisol, similar to how insulin resistance begins. And then this creates a constant state of too much stress. And then this creates a constant state of too much cortisol and thereby increased inflammation. What's crazy to think about is that the connection between excessive inflammation with chronic disease has been so well documented the last few decades that they're sometimes referred to now as stress-related diseases. When our bodies are this stressed, we don't sleep well or make good dietary choices. And when we don't sleep well, our hunger hormone goes into overdrive, making it even more difficult to make smart food choices, which, happens a lot during the holidays because of all the crazy amounts of food choices that we have. And then our energy levels nosedive and we don't feel like getting in any kind of movement. We're exhausted and still stressed out. Now, this loop is what I call the core 4, and any of these 4 pillars can work for you or against you. And unfortunately, the holidays are prime time for them to work against you, creating a perfect storm of inflammation. You don't get a hold on managing your stress levels. So here are the proven strategies that I use now in managing inflammation and stress during the holidays that took it from feeling like an overwhelming nightmare to actually looking forward to and enjoying the end of the year and the people that I choose to spend it with. So strategy number 1 is to use a planner and checklist for everything. So I'm a huge advocate for checklists. They really seem very simple and benign, but they have a lot of power in them, especially during the holidays. There is so incredibly much going on at all times that there will always be 3 or 15 things forgotten without listing them all down. And not only do I make lists for my daily to-dos in my business, I make checklists also for home stuff that needs to be done, chore checklists for the kids, a honey-do list, packing lists if we're traveling, gift budgeting lists for all the activities activities and school functions to attend. You know that they plan this for the holidays in the middle and the end of the year. And then list for any kind of get-togethers that we may be hosting or attending. It sounds silly, but lists are a really super simple way to feel a little more in control. You can see everything at a glance without having to try and just keep it all up in your head. Oh yeah, and being able to see it this way also can help determine who you can delegate to. Checklists alone are the biggest thing that helps me keep my stress in check during the holidays. So strategy number 2 is plan a cheat day and be okay with the consequences. So most especially if you've been on a really strict dietary framework, this may be an okay time to take a break or plan a cheat day, as some people like to call it, and just let loose. Now, I'm not saying that everyone can do this to the extreme. For example, if you're diabetic, please, for the love of God, do not binge on sugar and carbs. Similarly, if you're allergic or sensitive to anything, also don't eat it. However, I do believe in lifting restrictions so that the time spent with family and friends during the holidays is spent focusing on catching up and enjoying the company instead of worrying about what you're eating. So here's kind of an example of that. I don't have celiac, but I am sensitive to certain grains. They don't send me into an allergic reaction, but I know that if I'll eat it, I'll have this annoying like eczema kind of reaction on my face. And even though I know that it's gonna happen, I'll occasionally plan cheat days when I'm with family and just be okay with the consequences because I've weighed the importance of being able to spend time focusing on catching up with my friends and family versus spending my brain power worrying about what's available that I can eat. And when I make that conscious decision, I also don't feel guilty about having those regular crackers versus grain-free crackers for my dip. I make that decision, I know the repercussions, and I simply enjoy myself. Strategy number 3 is to schedule in some downtime or me time. So scheduling regular downtime really should be a non-negotiable in your calendar, but especially during the holidays. This time of year tends to bring up all sorts of unresolved issues among family and friends without fail. But it's also super busy and can be exhausting and can induce sleep issues from every angle. All of these add up to increased inflammation. So block out time on your calendar to just go do things for yourself, even if it's an uninterrupted movie alone or simply bath time. I personally tend to get stressed and overwhelmed with a lot of noise, so even get-togethers can be overwhelming for me after a while. Even restaurants can when they're really loud or if there's a lot of screaming kids. But to be perfectly frank, we have a 9-year-old that talks from the time she wakes up until the time she goes to bed, so if she's home all day, then I have nonstop noise all day. Now, when this happens, I have extra time where I'll do some things alone or even take what I call a brain break during the day. And this is where my kids and husband know just to leave me alone. And I go in the quietest room that we have. I lie down and listen to ASMR with the sound deadening headphones on. And while I'm in there, I can meditate, I can take a nap, or I can just reflect and journal. This blocked out me time has helped tremendously in reining in that overwhelm, especially during the holidays. Strategy number 4 is have meal backups for the crazy weeks ahead. So backup plans for meals is so dang important. And I always say that meal planning is one of the most overlooked forms of stress management there is. Aside from regular meal plans, so I have a few other backups that I recommend. These include freezer meals that have been prepped and frozen previously, super easy crock pot meals, simple 3 to 5 ingredient meals, or even breakfast for dinner. I create yet another list of freezer meal inventory and also list these other options and post it on our Command Central dry erase board. And that way I don't have to think about what the options are. I just go look and pick one. So you've been watching this video thus far. You obviously want to learn more about reducing inflammation in the body. And I actually spent countless hours researching and analyzing the most recent studies to understand how to do just that. So when you're watching this and subscribe to TrueWell, it means that you're subscribing to the very best research and actions that you can take on your own to reduce inflammation in your body. So if you're ready to accomplish that while feeling amazing with an anti-inflammatory diet and lifestyle, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Now, strategy number 5 is to get in daily movement. So daily movement, or what we call oscillation around here at TrueWell, is critical during this time of year. People start moving less and less the colder that it gets outside. But we also shifted into a new era of so many shopping options being online that the old days of 30,000 steps in a single day of holiday shopping just doesn't happen anymore. Daily oscillation, whether that's Total steps, flights of stairs climbed, walking, or even a structured workout is so important for managing stress. I'd even argue that we should add some extra time to our daily movement during the holidays. Movement and workouts have been shown in studies to help us sleep better and manage stress better. So if you don't have a regular plan for daily movement, get started. If you do have one, step it up a bit during the holidays. Your body and emotional status will thank you. Strategy number 6 is to have sugar-free options for treats. This one is crazy important because when you're this busy and overwhelmed, it's so easy to just go, grab the first thing you can find if you're hungry. So prep anti-inflammatory snacks and breakfasts that are sugar-free ahead of time so you've got just no-brainer options to choose from. Especially since we're out and about so much more during the holidays with traveling, all the activities going on, all of this stuff, it gets really easy to just fall back on whatever's the most convenient. So make sure that you have those sugar-free options ready. Blood sugar spikes and crashes are prime culprits for stress and emotional roller coasters. Don't fall into that trap during the holidays. Strategy number 7 is to use the TrueWell trifecta for meals. So making sure that you have your macros balanced at each meal will ensure that you're full longer and that you don't overeat and that your blood sugar stays balanced. This means less chance of emotional ups and downs from food. This is especially true before holiday parties, dinners, and get-togethers as well. If you're not planning a cheat time, it can be really easy to say, just screw it and just eat inflammatory junk just because it's there and you're tired of wondering what you can eat. Now, the TrueWell trifecta includes quality protein about the size of your palm, 1 to 2 times that in fiber, which is vegetable and your healthy carbs, and then healthy fats about the size of your thumb. If you've got this formula down for every meal or every snack that you eat, you're good to go. Number 8 is to use the freestyle meal prep method for weeks when you can't even think straight. So even with my new rules on my checklist and all my strategies in place, we still have weeks that are completely nuts. And this is when I rely on freestyle meal prep. Now, all this means is that instead of having a formal meal plan in place, I go grab seasonal produce from the store and I prep it at the start of the week. And then we use those prepped foods to throw together anti-inflammatory meals the nights that we're home and cooking. So to see it in action and get a free printable guide, check out the video called Anti-Inflammatory Freestyle Winter Meal Prep and get some ideas while you're in there about what kind of meals that you can cook and learn how to do this method where you grab seasonal produce and then prep it ahead of time. So I hope you enjoyed these strategies. Please leave me a comment if you try any of them or even have some suggestions on your own. Leave the comments below this video. I'm wishing you the happiest, most stress-free, and anti-inflammatory holiday ever. Be true, be well, and I'll see you in the next video.